Today, what I'm gonna break down is the one thing I wish I knew before I started pursuing goals and dreams. And I think it's one of the biggest things that people don't understand when they're pursuing their goals and dreams that really just sets them up for like complete failure. And it's because they don't understand the perspective of time it takes to reach big dreams. Now, if you have a small dream, a really easy goal, then this video really isn't for you. This is for people that are very ambitious, that have big goals, have goals that some people may say are impossible. There's nothing that's impossible. But you have these things that are big goals. There's a perspective you have to have when you're going out to get these big goals or these goals that aren't just easy to get to. And before I explain the concept, which is the compound effect, I want to explain what people usually do when they don't understand the compound effect. And so the thing they do instead of doing what they actually should do with the right perspective. So the thing most people do when they have a goal, a big goal, whatever it may be, they really want it, right? Like all of us, we really want it, especially in the beginning phase. And so when we first start this pursuit for a big goal, let's call this the goal right here. This is where we're trying to get to. This is the goal, right? We're trying to get here, but we're right here. Out the gates, they're going to sprint. So out the gates, they're doing everything they can do. They're watching every YouTube video. They're working as hard as possible. They're working unrealistic hours. They're doing all of this work. And then they keep going and they keep going. And they realize, man, I'm actually not even halfway there. Because see, this isn't actually how it works. You don't just have a straight line to the goal. What ends up happening is you're sprinting. And that's all the progress you see. You're thinking, man, I'm doing all of this hard work, but I don't even see myself really making any progress. And so what ends up happening is this person that's sprinting, they think can't do it. Because obviously I'm giving it everything I can and I'm not even close to like 25. And I'll say like somebody may do this. It depends on the person. They may do this for maybe, I don't know, a month, maybe even a year, depends. But they'll sprint out the gates. They're thinking they're going to give it everything they got because they're passionate about it. But the problem is they have time associated. One of the things you have to stop doing is having time associated with a goal. It's one of the stupidest things you can do. One, and if you watch one of the previous videos I dropped maybe like 3 days ago, we don't really know the future. We can't really plan things. It's out of our control. We can't control certain things happening. All we can control is our actions, our decisions. And when we associate time to a goal, we're setting unrealistic expectations based on things we can't even control. All we can control is putting in that time, right? But when we understand that things take time, things take years, there's a different perspective you have to have, but there's a healthy way to look at it when you're dealing with this. And I want to explain it with a chart. And now we can get into explaining the compound effect. So you're not quitting. Because what ends up happening is most people, they sprint out the gates, right? I want to explain this one more time. They sprint out the gates. And then like there's something wrong, they take a break and then they sprint again and they take a break because there's still no progress, but they're missing out on this momentum that can be built. And I'm going to explain why the momentum is super important because it's the compound effect, okay? And I'm going to try to break it down as simple as possible. Let's do it as a graph, right? It's a graph, right? This looks like the video where the dude's like F around to find out. But let's say your goal is up here, all right? And you're going to start right here. This is you. This is where you're starting. This is your big goal. It's way out there. Like this is your dream life or whatever it may be. In the beginning, it's going to be like this. This is what it's going to be like. And a lot of people can't deal with this part, right? But what you have to realize in the compound effect is that with each step, it is like a seed phase that's building on for a beautiful tree that's eventually. So this is like your first year. I'm going to call this year 1. And then year 2, you'll be like there. And I'm just using years and 2. Obviously, these things can happen in months. It can happen in decades, whatever. But each time you go up, it's building on each other and it's multiplying. And it's multiplying. And it's multiplying. But you're thinking, man, Jamar, I'm only this far after 5 years. But what you don't realize is with each one, it multiplies. And then it multiplies. And it multiplies. And so it's like the discussion when somebody says, you know what I mean? Would you rather have $100,000 right now, or would you rather have $1 or would you rather have 2 cents that multiplies on itself every single week? You see what I mean? And so if you have you have $100,000 right now, that's all you got. Beautiful, you got $100,000. But with 1 cent, Next week, that turns into 2 cents. And then within another week, that turns into 4 cents. And then I'm not going to break it all the way down, but eventually in like a year, you end up having like $1 billion because it keeps building on yourself, because with every step you take towards your dreams, you're learning, you're building. But here's what happens. When you take one consistent small step, every single small step that you take with consistency builds on each other, and you learn how to take the step bigger. Like you learn how to get bigger steps. And so all these people, you'll see it happen. You're coming out the gates, right? Let's say you're going to get somebody. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you're number 1 and this is number 2 out the gates, and this is the lane and this is what's happening. Most people think the chase to their dreams is a 100-meter race, okay? And so this person is going to sprint, and you're going to be taking small, consistent steps, okay? And this person isn't going to be able to make it because they think the goal can happen in 1 year, and they don't realize this is a whole freaking marathon of 100 miles, okay? And so the person that can actually plan small, consistent steps, and their steps get bigger, but they're doing it with pace. They're doing it without expectations. They keep going. This person couldn't even get past right here because they thought the goal was right here. But this person disassociated with the goal and focused on the process and got better at the process each time. And all of a sudden, they keep taking bigger steps. And because they forgot about the goal, and now they're getting closer to the goal, and it keeps multiplying on each other, and keeps multiplying, and keeps multiplying, because you're actually learning and not trying to press the issue. The person right here isn't really learning, isn't really aware, isn't really present. So they're not able to really learn that much and take the steps better. But when you have small, consistent actions, this is what I really want to emphasize for y'all really quick. The key in making your dreams a reality, as much as working hard is important, isn't really working hard. The key is actually just doing a little bit every day. That's the key. And this is somebody I've been chasing big, huge entrepreneurial dreams for the past 4 or 5 years. And I've realized the most effectiveness to your dreams is small 1 steps every day. Small steps every single day. Because this allows you to build momentum. This allows you to keep working and keep building on each after day, and allows you not to ever really have to quit because you're not burning out. A lot of people will work hard, but is that going to be sustainable for the rest of your life? The key when making a plan to your dreams, the key about making a process, a routine, is this: sustainability. If you don't have sustainability, you're not going to be able to run a marathon. I need you to understand the process of you getting to your dreams, big goals, is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And even if it was a sprint and you got some type of, success from it, you aren't going to become the person that can get it again because you just got lucky. You got something handed to you, or you ended up being in the right place at the right time. But to sustain things, you have to have a process, you have to have a pace. So the key in making a process to be able to get to your dreams and your goals is pace. That's the key. People don't talk about that, but it's pace. So it's being able to imagine it like you're running a marathon. If you're watching a race of a marathon and you see somebody sprint out the gates, yeah, they're in first place, but you're like, that's an idiot. That's how most people look chasing their dreams. They come sprint out the gates and they think they're doing something. Like, no. But the person that's sitting back, every day I'm going to do one little thing. Every day I'm going to take 1 step forward. Every day I'm going to take 1 step forward. Wake up, do it again, but not putting too much pressure on yourself. Because at the end of the day, everything's going to happen in due time. Oops. And what you have to realize is hard work is what everybody does. Everybody works hard. You can go outside and see a construction worker working really hard. They're not making that much money. But what separates people that actually make a lot of money or achieve big dreams, you know what they do? They have ideas and they work consistently at ideas that seem irrational to other people. So you have to be able to actually be in a mind frame to have ideas, to actually think about things, to, if you want to create content, have ideas to create content. If you want to be able to be the next, the next person, what's the word for ideas when you're making inventions, you know what I mean? So you have to be able to have a pace that allows you to be the best version of yourself, that not allows you to just sprint, because sprinting won't get you anywhere but somewhere in a quick amount of time. But it also allows you to be back at zero in a quick amount of time. Because most people quit and they move to the next thing, looking for a cheat code, but there is no cheat code. Because every time you try to cheat the game, you're just cheating yourself. Okay? And so you have to be able to understand this. Because a lot of times when you're cheating, This is what you're really saying. You're saying, I need the goal, I want the goal, but you don't want the process. But the person that gets the goal is the person that doesn't actually want the goal, is the person that actually loves the process. Ice Cube has this one quote I think is beautiful because it fully explains exactly what you need to know when you're going after any big goal. And he said, Ice Cube said this, I really want you to write this down, that's why I'm writing it. If you can't, and I might be like saying this quote a little bit wrong, but Ice Cube, I'm sorry, but this is basically what you said. If you can't work at something for 5 years without making a cent, don't even try. Yeah, that's what he said. Don't even try. Because a lot of you, you're doing it and it's like, I need the money, I need to be famous, I need whatever it may be. If you can't go about the process of something for 5 years without making no progress, no money from it, then you don't even need to be trying, because any big goal is going to test you. And it's going to give you every single reason to quit it, every reason to tell you, bro, you ain't even doing nothing. You putting all this work, you just wasting your time. And so you have to be like delusional to achieve a big dream, because you have to go after years and years, months and months, hours and hours of working and feeling like you're not doing nothing. But you actually are doing something, okay? Here's what I want to explain when you're feeling like you're not doing nothing. You actually are, it's not visible, okay? And I want to relieve some pressure, because maybe you're in your phase where you feel like you're working hard, you're being diligent, maybe you're taking small, consistent actions every single day, but nothing's happening. It's called the seed phase. The seed phase. So basically what happens, let's call this the dirt, right? This is the dirt. And when you have an idea for a dream, you plant a seed. This is you. This is the idea, right? This is the idea, this is the dream. This is the world. We can't see nothing under here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be like, this is dirt. Okay, this is dirt. Okay, and this is your seed, your little seed. Let me, you got a little seed right there. This is your dream. And every single day you're working and nothing's happening. You're building your roots. You're building your roots. Oh, another consistent action. You're building your roots. Okay, build some more roots. Okay, let's build roots on top of the roots. This is your foundation. This is what's allowing you to be sustainable. This is you learning who you are. This is learning how much you love it. This is understanding the business principles to your business or whatever it may be. This is you building connections. This is you doing all these things. You're not getting any followers. You're not doing anything, but you're building your roots. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. I know my last name is Root, but you're building your foundation here. And this seed phase can be like 5 years. Like Ice Cube say. Now it could be 6 months, it could be whatever. Most people don't even get past a month, so don't trip. But this could be like 5 years, this could be 10 years. But this is the most important time in the preparation for your dreams. This is what determines if you're gonna be successful. Because when you start getting those sproutings, all of a sudden haters, all of a sudden people asking for stuff, all of a sudden them same people that were hating, when you start growing a little bit more. But here's what also happens. You're going to have a little bit of rain. I tried to write lightning. You're going to have rain. You're going to have all these things trying to deter you from growing. But if you didn't have a proper seed phase where you're taking consistent steps and learning and building your foundation and learning that you already have the mindset that I ain't quitting no matter what, because I already put in 5 years without any results. So now that I'm receiving results, I ain't stopping for nothing. And so you have to go about this seed phase, because if you don't, no matter if you get a little bit of success early without this, are you going to be able to sustain it for the long run? Okay? And so here's what I want to explain. If you don't have this seed phase, let's show this same example without the seed phase. Okay. So let's take away the little growth you had. Let's take away the haters. Let's take it all that. Let's say you have a dream, right? And whatever. Let's say you want to be Instagram famous. Not that should be your goal, but let's say you want to be Instagram famous. This is the goal. IG fame. That's the goal. All right. And let's say your first video do numbers. Like you got 100, you got three, you got 50 million views on it, and you got 250,000 followers, just like that. Let me check my phone. Still recording. Okay, it's still recording. I low-key got a low battery on there, and I'm low-key playing with fire. But let's see how far we get. All right, so let's say your dream is to be IG famous, okay? So superficial. And let's say the first video, you get 200,000 followers off, and you do something crazy, whatever. So boom, we already sprouting. We already got this. Boom, we already got a full tree. You look like a cool person, right? Full person. But what nobody knows is under this, you don't even know who you are. And so the first time you get famous, you got all this love. People watering your plants, okay? People watering your plants. Oh my goodness, you're so cool, blah, blah, blah. But what ends up happening is the seasons change, okay? So it's sunny out. It's sunny out, bro. It's the spring. You being watered. You already got things sprouting. You feel like you the man, you that girl, whatever it may be. But guess what? What is they say on Game of Thrones? Winter is coming, okay? Winter is coming. And so what happens when winter comes? Because winter always gonna come. Best believe that. You know what I'm saying? So winter is coming, right? Now you ain't got that support. Now people done forgot about you. A one-hit wonder. Where they at now? Now all of a sudden people like, bro, what happened to him? So now you got haters. You call this snow. Call this snow. We call this some hail, okay? Some hail coming down. Now we got some earthquakes coming. I don't know. I'm trying my best to draw. And now all of a sudden, boom, within 2 weeks, your whole thing done fell down. Boom, everything done fell down because you didn't build a foundation. You didn't become, you just were. What ends up happening in your seed phases is that you end up becoming the person that deserves and can handle the success. A lot of people want success but can't handle success. So when they get success, it doesn't last very long. You know how many one-hit wonders there are in this world? In different industries, different things, music, whatever. They hit it big, but they never built themselves as a person. And so when it's time to put in that work, what it really takes to get it consistently is you can't do it. And they keep relying on gimmicks and hacks and stuff. We don't want to depend on gimmicks and hacks because you can never depend on them. But what you can depend on is building out your roots. And that's what happens when nobody's watching. That's what happens when you're getting 0 views or barely any likes on Instagram. That's what happens when nobody's supporting you. That's what happens when you're making no money. That's what happens when it seems like nothing's working, but really, life's working on you. And you're building up your armor, your strength. And then when it's time for the results, they will come in. But a lot of people can't do this. You know why they can't do this? Why, Jamar? They can't do this because they don't love it, yo. They don't love it. And if you don't love it, don't do it. Now, if you're trying something out, go for it. But if you don't love the process to a big dream, you're wasting your time. Because you're going to have all these winters, all these things pushing you away, all these things telling you to quit. And if you don't love it regardless, I promise you it's not going to be enough. So for me, I love making these videos. Whether you like the video, whether you watch this far, regardless, just me making the video allows me to be fulfilled. I'm happy. This is what I love doing. And so making videos consistently isn't a matter of me continuing to get views. It's just a matter of me being me, okay? So the process isn't what you have to do. Process isn't what you have to do. It should be who you are. Write that down, y'all. Write that down. The process isn't what you have to do. It should be who you are. In the beginning, it's not who you are yet. You're still building it out. But eventually, it should become who you are. Me making this video is becoming who I am. This isn't what I have to do. And that's why I can talk for 15, 20, 30 minutes on these videos, because this isn't me trying to do anything. This is me being who I am. I believe at the root of everybody is a passion. And through that passion is all the great things in the world, because that's when you're going to be able to be consistent, to work hard, go through all those winners, go through all those haters, because regardless of what anybody else says, just in the moment of you doing it, you already won. I'm winning before this video gets posted. I'm winning regardless if this video gets 1 view on YouTube, because the process is who I am. And you need to be able to figure out who you are. And so that takes different things. I make videos on helping people find what they love to do. So watch more of my videos. But I'm just saying, if you want to learn more about how to figure out who you are. But I'm just saying, figure out who you are. A lot of y'all are tripping, trying all these things, and you never actually took the time to actually reflect and say, yo, who am I? And then when you figure out who you are, you just put that on repeat and watch the world find you. But if you don't find who you are, people are going to spot you from a mile away. And eventually, even if you have early success, they're going to spot it and you're not going to be able to handle it. If somebody hates on me, guess what? I'm just not for you. Guess what? I already love me. I don't need you. Okay? And that's the mindset you have to be able to have when it comes to this. Every person that has reached long-term success understands the value of the seed phase and becoming the process. Anybody that doesn't was a one-hit wonder. They didn't last very long. Anybody you see with consistent success, consistent goals being happening and achieved, they understand the value of the process. So I need you to know that. So don't think you can be a one-hit wonder. I mean, you can, but think about life after the one-hit wonder finishes off. All that goes away. You're back to being who you were, okay? You got to be able to keep going. And understand one more thing. Momentum. I'm glad I remembered to bring this up. Momentum. This is key. Because when you're going about this, and I talked about, you know what I mean, this multiplication that happens, okay? And then all of a sudden it just goes boom. That's the compound effect. You have to be able to understand, in order for this to work, you have to be consistent because each day builds momentum. But when you do this and then you stop for a day, you kind of go back to ground one because now you got to get back going. It's like being a car and you're like going and then stopping. You don't have that momentum you had. But you keep building on your momentum that you have. But once you press the brakes, you got to build up that momentum again. I hope that makes sense. So you have to be consistent in order to build the compound effect because every single day is building on each other. You start to get it more and it starts to become a rhythm and then it starts to become who you are. And that's when things start to really multiply. So I need you to understand if you want to build that compound effect, it takes time. It takes years. It takes lots of grind, but it also takes you building momentum. It takes you becoming the grind. It takes you becoming the process. It takes you being consistent. And when I say consistent, it doesn't mean to run 10 miles every single day. I just mean taking one step every single day. Most people don't achieve the dreams, not because people don't work hard, but people can't take one step every single day. You'll be amazed what will happen if you just take one simple step every single day. It's literally a cheat code. But the reason why people don't talk about it is because most people don't do it. Okay? And it's because they don't love it and they're in it for the wrong reasons or whatever it may be. So just remember, not only does it build momentum, but staying in the process, being consistent, not quitting. Let me make sure I'm not, okay, phone not dead. But staying in the process, staying consistent, not only allows you to build that momentum, but that's where the inspiration is. I need you to know what an idea can catapult you. If you have one good idea, it could be the content, it could be the invention, it could be the thing that just changes your entire life. But the only way to get that inspiration is to stay in the game, stay in the arena. And each day you show up is where the inspiration lies. The inspiration lies when you keep waking up in the morning and you get after it. You're not going to be inspired if you're not in it. And it's almost in that struggle that gives you the best ideas. So the seed phase is really a win. Like for me, like all these videos come from all my struggles. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm able to build off that. And then I have ideas. I was like, oh, what if I did a whiteboard? And what if I did this? And now I'm like enjoying this content style. But it took me staying in the game for a long time. I posted like 250 videos every single day for a long time. I really didn't get that many results. But that momentum allowed me to stay in the game. That gave me the idea that allowed me to study YouTube every day. That eventually said, man, I like making content like this. Now I can ramble for longer than I thought I could ramble. I'm not rambling. I'm actually very organized with my little y'all see I've been, you know what I'm saying? But it takes you continuously showing up. And not only does it allow you to show up and get ideas, but it allows other people to know you're for real. And when people see you're for real, regardless of the results, they want to help. Nobody wants to help somebody that they don't think is really about it. So like for me as a mentor, I mentor a lot of people. But one of the biggest pet peeves I have as a mentor, I think other mentors have this, is I don't want to waste my time. The reason I got this far and you want me to mentor you is because I figured out how to use my time effectively. So don't make me waste my time. I already learned not to do this. And the way a mentor knows you're not going to waste your time is by proving to me that you're going to consistently work. And the more you consistently work, the more I give you information, you actually implement it, the more I'm like, oh, this person actually hungry. Okay, let me give them the real game. A mentor ain't going to give you all the game off rip. But when they say you consistent, oh, let me give them something. But it also just keeps you in the arena, okay? And so if you're not in the arena, you have no shot. Okay, so just being consistent keeps you in the realm of possibilities of some shooting star happening. But if you're not in the arena, when the shooting star finally comes, you can't even grab it. So you just got to be consistent because there's unlimited possibilities in this world, but it just takes you being consistent. Anything can happen any moment, but the moment you quit is the moment you have no chance. I need you to know failure has nothing to do with the decision you make. It has everything to do with, failure does have to do with the decision you make. Failure has nothing to do with the results you have or the things that happen. It has everything to do with the decisions you make. So as long as you keep going, it's just a matter of time. It's not a what if. It's not can I, will I. It's just a matter of time. And so whatever you want to achieve in your life, if you dedicate your life to it, I promise you, you can get it. As long as you continue to want that. I say the only way I don't get what I want is if I just realize I don't want it or I die. Other than that, it's just a matter of time, okay? So just keep going. Understand the compound effect. If you aren't in it for the long game, it's okay. Find something you are in it for the long game, and that's what's going to allow you to achieve something big. I really love y'all. If y'all want more videos where I break more things down, watch my other videos somewhere. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all on the next video.